What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Carceno here, and Vincent McMahon is gone. This time it's for good. He's not coming back. The WWE is sick, just like I am, disgusted of the behavior of one Vince McMahon. How many times was we go through this cycle? We just did this the other day. The day after this lawsuit was filed by a former employee, the disgusting everything that came out in it was so disgusting that you can't even repeat it. Now, TKO, who just acquired WWE from Vince McMahon, now has to clean house. And I felt they should have fired him, then give him the honor of resigning. He doesn't deserve that honor. I don't care what he's done for professional wrestling. I don't care about any of that. The crimes he has committed and that he has copped out to prior to this is enough to say you're not deserving of that kind of honor or respect. These are the things that you settled on. Not even this case. And everybody else has been falling down at the wayside, as this rabbit hole is a lot deeper, and it's been going on since 1992. Since the 90s, we have seen this activity from Vince. And it's always one thing that comes out that opens the floodgates to everything. Now, some might be saying, well, what are you saying, big boy? Get to the point. What I'm saying is that they were aware of all these egregious acts that was being done and performed and covered up by one Vincent McMahon. They were aware. It wasn't like people didn't come and speak up. They were aware of these allegations. They were aware of the problems. They were aware something was awry. Since the 90s, former wrestlers, former announcers, former everybody was speaking out. They were saying, hear us and what we're saying. And nobody did. Nobody cared. They only cared about what? The pay-per-view. As long as the pay-per-view was coming out, fans didn't care. They didn't care one bit. Let Vince do what he wants. So it would come, it would handle behind the scenes, and they would move on. Business as usual. Meanwhile, the other person has got emotional scars for the rest of their life. Oh, it gets even worse. Because on the Patreon is the only place I could discuss the actual filth that happened in the 90s. It's so disgusting that I don't know if any of you ever heard it. But once I tell it to you, you're going to say, my God, how did I not hear of this? And you're going to look it up and you're going to find it and be like, what the? Yep, it's that kind of party, that kind of day. So when you think about it, when everything is said and done, you'll then realize that Sometimes things are not what they seem, right? Sometimes things are as gray as they appear to be. Now, Vince retired or resigned earlier when these first allegations came out just about a year ago. Stephanie took over, he stepped down, right? You remember that. He was chairman of TKO and all that. Then the allegations came to light in that new lawsuit. Then they had Janelle Grant pop up, who worked at the headquarters. Then you had McMahon denying all these allegations, and he was prepared to defend himself in court, right? Then he said, out of respect for the WWE universe, the extraordinary TKO business and its board members and shareholders and partners and constituents and all of the employees and superstars who helped make the WWE into the global leader it is today, I've decided to resign from my executive chairmanship and the TKO board of directors effective immediately. He didn't say why. He just say out of respect for them. No. We all remember he had paid out all those settlements to multiple women while serving as the CEO and chairman and have been circulating since about what, 2022? But when Grant filed the lawsuit Thursday, she had all these allegations ready to go when they was doing that trial, but they never reached out to her. So now this sheds new light on McMahon's alleged misconduct. In this lawsuit, she indicates that Vince McMahon dangled a job at her for WWE, for promotions, for SEX. And now her lawsuit, also indicates that she was trafficked over to other wrestlers and other men inside and outside of the company, including the brother. I know I said the son last time, but it's the brother of Animal. His son played football. So that was my mistake I made on the first video. So the brother of Animal from the Road Warriors, who worked in the company as the talent relation department, and he was also named as a defendant in this lawsuit. Vince engaged in so many acts and went on to address people and staff and emails and the press. TKO has been taking a pounding now because they feel they've been duped. They had people that's supposed to vet this company. They heard about the allegations from McMahon and they were still willing to keep him on board. So they deserve every bit of what's happening to them. And now with Vince stepping down, Brock Lesnar is not going to return at Royal Rumble. That's out. The Rock seemed like he's going to be stepping away from WWE for a while this situation is going on also. So TKO said that this man will no longer have a role with TKO Holding Groups or WWE. It's over. So after that Thursday night, when it was made public, the lawsuit, and they said McMahon does not control TKO or oversee day-to-day operations at WWE, but just him being associated was going to be a problem. So he initially retired in July of 2022 when they had misconduct, but at that time, WWE announced a special committee would investigate Vince, and his retirement didn't last long. It was closed. Investigation closed in November of 2022. Then he came back on the board of the WWE in January of 2023. So Grant's lawsuit had raised the question of the culture of WWE. Now, it concealed a lot of McMahon's wrongdoings. She alleged that the special committee that they made to investigate Vince never interviewed her, requested any documents, despite her willingness to cooperate in the investigation. They didn't want this lady involved. Now, how are you betting Vince McMahon and you having a person who had the claims she made, and you don't even ask for any documents? You didn't even interview her. It was clear what they were trying to do. Once again, sweep things over. So as Vince served on the board, which officially formed in September when the TKO merger took place, well, the UFC is owned by the same guy, TKO, which is owned by this Hollywood power broker, Ari Emanuel's Endeavor Group. Now, Ari Emanuel is very powerful in Hollywood. He's very powerful in the industry. So Ari Emanuel, who Kanye West tells you about a lot, has also brought up these things about Vince. Well, not about Vince, but about Ari Emanuel and how he works and pulls strings in Hollywood. This is a man who seemed to be okay with Vince's activities until it became bad for them with this lawsuit. So now, all of a sudden, now TKO is showing some interest. Mm. This is the same group that allowed Dana White to go out and remain president of the whole operations for striking his wife on camera when anyone else would have lost his job. You see Jonathan Majors lose hundreds of millions of dollars in future earnings and revenue from Marvel movies, etc. Lost a lot of prestige, everything. He's humiliated now and looked at as an abuser when he hasn't done anything. And he's on camera running away from a woman. Dana White's on camera striking a woman. One man's found guilty, the other man's not even tried. Well, you're talking about a $21 billion interest with two companies. You know, with WWE shareholders owning 49% of the combined company, Vince McMahon's WWE's largest shareholder. You know, and once the incident of the lawsuit was presented, forcibly restraining, saying no means yes, all kind of craziness. It's just so much in here that we can only let you guys know on the Patreon. So if you go on the Carceno for Life Patreon, your head is gonna probably blow up with all the stuff we finna tell you that took place. And when you go and look it up to see, like, Ceno telling the truth, your head gonna blow. Now, when Vince exited, uh, some lucrative business opportunities were starting to develop. The Rock was going to become part of TKO's board of directors. And we don't know what's going to happen with that now, as he might pull back. But they announced this week that The Rock was going to be joining TKO's board of directors. Now, Vince McMahon touted the partnership on Tuesday. And he said, very few people on the planet understands this convergence of sports, entertainment, media, and business like The Rock. So they were paying The Rock 30 million in stock awards to promote the brand as part of the deal. So he gets stock awards just to promote it. So Netflix also recently announced it will become the exclusive home of WWE Raw starting in January 2025. So Netflix is moving more and more towards live entertainment and live streaming. They did it with Chris Rock's stand-up comedy, test running it. So they're going to be moving towards more live streaming. Well, it wasn't all the ways where they wanted it to be. So they want to make sure they get all of that together because that's a whole different thing. It's different than just programming. Um, Netflix signed a 10-year deal with the WWE for $5 billion. You heard me, five B's. $5 billion. Now, with the Royal Rumble coming up, we'll see how the fans respond to these claims, and we'll see, will this just be another bump in the road and they can bring old Vincent back, but he can't come back after this. There's no way. If Vince McMahon is able to come back again and join the company after this, I don't know what more to do. The man changed and got a doggone pedo stash to try to make himself look less creepy because his name was destroyed and his image was destroyed when they show it. Now he looked like Pepe Le Pedo over here looking absolutely ridiculous with this mustache on. Looks like complete the weirdo kid. So anyhow, I'm a roll and get up out of here. I want to say thank y'all who supported the channel. Kwame Brown, Bus Life, Jag Sports, Jose Rodriguez. Welcome to HDIITV. And I am out the door before 4. And Vince, you should be ashamed. But on the Patreon, I can go a lot more on this and tell y'all the things you're missing.